Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation, and particularly the sensors that monitor the community guidelines. One of the things we emphasize, we absolutely play by the rules. We don't present anything that's not backed by peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. So there are no claims because everything that we're quoting is from the medical studies. They're in the public domain so everybody can see it. Nothing we give to people are opinions. Nothing we refer to are outlandish or crazy or unsafe protocols. Everything that we share, both showing the current state of diets versus this new breakthrough that's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. There's nothing higher in medical proof than a peer-reviewed human trial study. So we just want to make sure that you know that going into this. So again, finally, medical science proves a new safe way to lose 20 pounds in a month. Don't believe this nonsense that you're hearing about these people telling you you can lose 20 pounds in a month, they're going to show you how to burn fat. That's a complete and outright fabrication. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and your fat cells expand or contract. Don't fall. I watch this and it makes me crazy. We have so many people out there on social media, they're giving you opinions without one shred of medical evidence. We are the researchers of the researchers, and what we present to you is published in 10 of the biggest, I've got them right here, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the year. Why in the world, if any of these diets work that these people are professing, how in the world in 4 years they're projecting, Johns Hopkins Medical School, that 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese in 4 years? How can I lose 30 pounds? She lost, look at this, Kristen, 21 pounds, 38 inches in just 30 days. So, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Aurea Valoy, I believe it is. I'm going to explain it to you in just a moment. So everybody coming on, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, here's the thing. If you go on social media, with all due respect, look at what they're telling you. Why don't they have one shred of medical evidence behind what they're claiming? This is backed, this protocol you're looking at here is backed, like I said, by 10 peer-reviewed medical studies. It is not a diet. There are no products to buy. You don't have to buy some app and then they're going to give you recipes and then you're going to get a coach. We coach you for free, 100% coach you for free. Look at that. The New Health Conversation is the website you can go to at any moment and see the medical proof. Free coaching. Why would we need to charge you to? We got coached. Okay, we're researchers, we're scientists. We want to spread this. The world is in desperate straits with 2.5 billion people overweight and 1 billion people clinically obese. Do you think diets are working? Somebody has to stand up for all of you. My name is Peter Greenlaw. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I've written 4 best-selling books. I did 20 shows on PBS and over 1,500 live lectures around the world for 22 of those 23 years. And I can tell you, with all due respect, those 22 years, nobody in the medical community would even look at this because there were no peer-reviewed human trial studies. You're all following, I know you are because I see them on social media with 1 million followers telling you about, time-restricted eating where you're going to lose 20 pounds in a month and you're going to burn fat. Complete fabrication. No proof whatsoever. Okay? So we're going to talk about now how in the world can you lose 5 pounds a week. That's about the average on this. Let me show you, Orvor and everybody else. I want to show you some of the other proof. Look at this, everybody. How about Julie? 35 pounds in 37 days, no exercise, no counting calories, no products. This was based on food and a new way of eating. Okay, now one other one I want to show you. This is my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months. You think any of these people on social media have one shred of medical evidence backing up? Plus, they could never do anything like this. This is going to change your lives. At 30 pounds, I know this sounds crazy to you. Probably there's no reason. Where do I go to send for info? Do you see it there, Celie Rose? You were on yesterday. The New Health Conversation. See it right above her head there in blue, The New Health Conversation? Give me a yes, Celie, if you see that. And not only will you get free information, but you get a free coach if that's what you want to do. The coaching is 100% free. Okay, you see it, Celie? So that's where you want to go. The New Health Conversation. And Celie, you were on my podcast yesterday. I remember your name. Am I correct? And maybe you just missed that part, the New Health Conversation. So let's now talk about how can you lose 5 pounds a week? So 30 pounds easily, you could lose it in 8 weeks or less, okay? Now, what did they do? What makes this so different, right? Here's what makes it so different. The researchers who invented it are the top. They're real researchers. They're not somebody on Facebook or social media giving you opinions about, oh, I'm a health coach. Really? Where's your credentials? What did you do? Where's your academics? Or more importantly, for all that, where's your medical proof behind what you're claiming? This makes me angry. You're all being ripped off. You are. I mean, do you think in 4 years, if 86% of America is going to be overweight, obese, and 50% of them are pre-diabetic, that any of these diets you're on work? Do you know that medical evidence proves that 2/3 of you, including even in Medicare, listen to this, Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. The researchers at Medicare studied long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost. Why are you listening to these people? Because you have no alternative. You don't, until now. So let's talk about what they did. Why does this work? Well, the first thing, the people who invented this are rated the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. Got something in my eye here. And they had done 100 studies over 40 years. They're real scientists, right? And they determined no diet ever worked long term. They were all based on some crazy formula of reducing calories. Calories in, calories out. It doesn't work. So what did they say? They said, here's the problem. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. Despite you all counting calories, the human body has no idea what a calorie even is. Why are you counting calories? And you're following these crazy things like time-restricted eating, which doesn't work. It's nonsense. There's not one shred of medical evidence behind it. None. Zero. This is based on food and a new way of eating. So what did the researchers do? They said, we know the only thing the body cares about. It doesn't know what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. It only cares about nutrition. So they sought to find foods where they could give you less food by quantity, but foods that contain more nutrition. They put a grocery list together that you would get if you do this for free. You're going to buy 30% of whatever you spent last month on groceries. That's all you're going to spend this month: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. And they're not giving you calorie amounts. They're giving you serving sizes. Does this make sense to everybody? Can somebody give me a yes so I at least know some of you are paying attention, okay? The other 70% of what you would spend or purchase doesn't come from the researchers, doesn't come from us, doesn't come from the coaches. It comes directly from other researchers who've gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition that don't exist in North America or in England or wherever you are in the world. And those were the foods they gave to her. And then they invented a new way of eating. You heard me. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods from around the world, lunch from a grocery store list that you have, dinner from a grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner. That's called protein pacing. It's so advanced that the U.S. Patent Office gave them a registered trademark for this new way of eating. So 5 days out of 7 until she lost the weight, she was having 4 meals a day. Try that on any of these crazy diets or this nonsense time-restricted eating, which is nothing but nonsense, okay? 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, see, we're giving you real science here. We're not giving you opinions. Oh, you can lose 20 pounds and buy our recipes. Really? Where's your proof? You don't have any. You can tell I'm very animated about this. It's just enough is enough. It's like, yeah, I'm mad as hell and I can't take it anymore. I'm a researcher. I'm looking at what you're being told, and then I look at the results. From 1995 to 2025, we doubled the amount of the obesity in this country. And we got more diets than ever. When are you all going to wake up? So let's go back. So 5 days a week, she's having 4 meals a day. You get a schedule, when you eat, what you eat, how much, what's the timing in between. Exactly what they did. It's published in the 10 biggest medical journals in the world. This is going to change the world. 2 days a week, like I said, you do intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting or water fasting or time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. This time, you're going to eat 8 times a day. Yes, every hour and a half. Diabetics in this, no insulin spikes. None, no. But you know what this is more than anything else? It's not a diet. It's not about weight loss. Matter of fact, the main reason to do this is not to lose weight. You know what it is? To detoxify your body. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved this is removing chemicals from the body. That's the number 1 reason to do it. Number 2 reason, inflammation, which is the underlying cause of every disease out there. They proved in these studies it came down 25% in a month. And we're not curing, treating, diagnosing, or preventing any medical disease. All we're doing is reading from the real medical proof. It's in the public domain. You can all go read it. But we've made it easier for the website, right above our head in blue there, everybody, the New Health Conversation. What's there? It's the medical website. Okay, I'm going to invite Ashley on if I can, okay? Now, Ashley, inviting. I'm inviting Ashley. But you have to click on your end, Ashley, if you want to come on in order to be able to be part of this podcast. I can't do that. I've invited you. I'm allowing you. I'm inviting you on, but the live creator declined the invite. I don't know what's going on. People will say they want to come on, and then I invite them in, and then they don't come on. Maybe I'm scary. I don't know. But the thing I think that's so disheartening about this is we're the only ones with medical proof, and yet most people don't even hang around for a minute or two to find out how they did this. She's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. That's the other big part of this. The least important part is because not only did she lose 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month, she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise allowed. You heard me, no exercise, and that was still the result. But she's not the only one. So does that make sense to everybody that was on now that you understand why or how she did it? And well, look at that, everybody. 5 pounds a week. How many of you I'd love someone to put it in the chat. What's your anticipation? If you're going to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? I don't understand. Hello Shamez D. Hello, Todd Young. I'm not sure. I don't know how to do this. I mean, it looks to me like we've only got a couple people on here, and yet we have tons of people coming on, getting off, coming on, getting off. That is real, everybody. Can you take the chance? That's not real. Are you going to let your skepticism prevent you from changing the rest of your life? She lost 20, that's 5 pounds a week. Come on, everybody. Is that not unbelievable? I'd love for someone to put it in the chat. What do you think about that? Do you think it's fake? Do you think we photoshopped it? Do you think it's a different woman? And then look at this. This is my friend's daughter. 60 pounds or 30 kilos in 3 months with no exercise. You think you're seeing that on anything else out there? Luna said hi. Hi, Luna. Luena, I'm sure if I mispronounce your name, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But who else? Please, someone put in the chat. Hi, Cher. Would someone put in the chat, if you wanted to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? And what diet would you be? How are any of you on diets right now? You understand, not my opinion. Listen to this. Why you shouldn't count calories. That's not my opinion. While counting, this is the researchers saying, while counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep it off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people that try to count or restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. I don't care what the name of the diet is. At some point, you're limiting no exercise, right? There's no catch. Duhoon, here's why there's no catch. If you go to the website, 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies published in the biggest medical journals in the world. You can read right in there that people gain 6 to 9% of their free fat mass. That's lean muscle. No, it's not up for debate. It's not. No, I understand but you've got to understand what we have that nobody else has that you might be following. We have the medical proof. We got the medical proof. Nobody else does. You're all following these people giving you opinions. And what are those opinions based on? Oh, it's about, don't eat for 16 hours, eat for 8, lose 20 pounds in a month, and most of it's fat. There's the first big lie right there. There's no such thing as burning fat. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and those fat cells over your lifetime expand or contract. Look at how much she shrank, everybody, in 60 days with look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. And then look at this lady, I'm so proud of her. 200 pounds or 100 kilos in a year. Where's the loose skin, everybody? She had no surgery. Now, you can think it's fake. It's real. That's the problem. I understand most of you are coming on and getting off because you think this is some kind of hoax. Hoax my foot. It's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. As a matter of fact, it was published, one of the journals, the obesity journal, the top obesity journal in the world. It came out in 2024. This study was the #1 downloaded medical study for weight loss in the entire world. That's what she's doing. That's what we're talking about here. This is not a diet. This is not about counting calories or keto or paleo or Mediterranean or time-restricted eating. None of that nonsense. I'm just entertained. I don't get to Hoon Kim. I'm not sure what you're saying. No extra. There's no catch. There's no catch. See, what we have that nobody else has, I mean, look at this older gentleman. He's 65 years old. How about 40 pounds, 20 kilos in 30 days? Look at his stomach, how much it went down. This first and foremost is not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's about detoxification. In case you didn't know it, all of you making whatever comments you want to make, you're storing chemicals inside your body, inside what's called your visceral fat. Now, how can I say that? Well, kind of important here. This is a new medical syndrome that everybody in the world has called TDOS. The T is for toxicity, the D is for nutritional deficiency, the O is for being overweight, and the S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, of a new medical. Peter Greenlaw, who's that? Oh, that's me. I discovered this medical syndrome that everybody has. And this protocol, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving this is removing chemicals from all of you. You can pretend you don't think you're storing chemicals in your fat cells, and some of you may think you're in great shape. There's a new term now called normal weight obesity. What? Yeah. Because it's the relationship between the volume of the fat in your body and the amount of lean muscle. And it may not show up on the outside, but it shows up on the inside. They've done studies. They did PET scans and MRIs on people that are really in good shape. And they saw around their brain, their kidney, their liver, their heart, breast tissue, prostate, and this white halo of this toxic fat. We're all breathing, drinking, eating chemicals, whether you believe it or not. How much do I need to pay for this? Heavenly Kiss. You're buying food. There's no products. Heavenly Kiss. There are no products. So take whatever you spent on food last month, 30% you're going to spend at your grocery store. The other 70% you're buying directly from these other researchers who went to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find these food groups with huge amounts of nutrition and small amounts of food. You don't buy anything from us. You don't buy anything from the researchers. You buy either from your grocery store or directly from these other researchers who brought these foods from around the world. Does that make sense? And did you hear Heavenly Kiss? Well, let me ask you something, Heavenly Kiss. And what do you think about that? 65-year-old guy losing 40 pounds. That's 10 pounds a week. I'd love for you to comment. Heavenly Kiss, or any of you. Please, somebody comment. Do you think we're lying to you? That's the #1 thing. Because if you think we're lying, you're on the wrong podcast. Then go follow these influencers that are giving you opinions without one shred of medical evidence. Also, another study just came out this morning. Low-calorie diets are linked to heightened depression in people. That's why when you're on diets, you're so miserable. This is we don't make things up. We only read from medical studies. I mean, this is crazy. This was published in BMJ, Nutrition, Prevention, and Health. You can believe whatever you want to believe. You can count whatever calories you want. You can do whatever diet you want. None of them work long term. I mean, you've even got people like Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. And yet that's what you're doing. These people tell you like this time-restricted eating. Well, we don't tell you about calories, etc. You're getting less food. But where the fallacy is on any of that stuff, they never talk about the nutritional density of the food we're consuming, because the only thing your body can calculate is nutrition. It doesn't give a damn about calories. It doesn't even know what a calorie is. Do any of you know what a calorie is? Okay, so Sleeky, look at this right here. Do you see above our head there in blue the New Health Conversation? It's a free medical website. Let me show you, Sleeky, and everybody else where you can go. So you go to Google, type in the New Health Conversation, and it'll take you, there's the link, the New Health Conversation. That's a medical website. The only thing on that website is medical proof. For example, #1 is a podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. He was the head scientist who invented this after 100 studies on humans over 40 years. Everything is there. And if you go there, we won't even contact you. But if you go there and you like what you see, you scroll down, you get a free coach. It's free coaching. It says it right. Look, Finally, medical science proves a new way, safe way to lose 20 pounds in a month, backed by 10 peer-reviewed studies. You will get free coaching all the way to your goals and see the free medical proof at the New Health Conversation. So, Sleeky, does that make sense? Do you see that there in blue, the New Health Conversation? That's the free medical. It's free to go there, everybody. I see these other people, they want to sell you an app to get recipes, and then you get a coach? Really? Really? Without one shred of medical evidence? Boy, you people are really gullible. You really are. Because up to this point, that's all you've relied on is opinions, celebrity diets, and the South Beach diet, and the keto, paleo, Mediterranean keto. They've all now been disproven. They do not work long-term. Now, you don't have to believe me. Let's go to a major study. This study is in the Journal of the American Medical Association, where they looked at 48 different studies, 7,286 people, and it's called Comparison of Weight Loss Among Named Diet Programs in Overweight and Obese Adults. They named all the major diets: keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, fasting, Cornish, zone diet, lose weight for your blood type, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. 7,000 people. In 12 months, the weight loss was 16 pounds in a year. That's 1 pound and 4 ounces a month. And right in the study, of the weight they lost, 25 to 40% was lean muscle mass. Now, you don't maybe understand why that's so unhealthy. The very first thing that happens when your body stops accessing the fuel in your fat cell, which is what happens, and starts to use it's not just your muscles, your biceps and quads, it's also the organs of your body make up your lean muscle mass. Your brain, your kidney, your liver, your heart, your pancreas, it's all part of it. Now, what happens on diets, it starts with your muscles first, but the body then has to slow down metabolism, and it slows down your own immune system. So you're making yourself unhealthy by any of these damn diets you're on, including this. As a matter of fact, I don't know why, it makes me nuts. This is about time-restricted eating. A Journal of the American Medical Association did a 3-month study. Here's the real results, okay? After 3 months, our researchers found that overweight adults who were assigned to routinely fast 16 hours daily over the course of 3 months gained almost no benefit from it. And over the course of that period, they lost 2 to 3.5 pounds. And the majority of the weight they lost was lean muscle mass. Do whatever diet you want to do. They don't work. 2/3 of you will gain more weight than you lost. We have study after study after study. Here's another one, the science behind why diets don't work. And again, I'm only reading from the medical studies. You can go look it up yourselves. It's in the public domain. Listen to what they said. Despite all the ads and claims that say otherwise, it's very rare for people to lose weight and keep it off for good. Not only that, 2/3 of people who diet regain more weight than they originally lost, ending up at a higher weight than where they started. Our research reviewed more than 30 long-term studies showing that diets actually cause weight gain. The more diets someone has tried, the more they weigh. That's what you're all facing by following this fairy dust. I did for years. I counted calories years ago. These researchers, this is going to change the world. Unless you've got have any of you got a program where you can lose 5 pounds a week? She only had 30 pounds to lose, but look at the shrinkage in her body. Look at her stomach. Day 1, day 30 with no exercise allowed. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Now are you interested, some of you? Is this suitable for a period? Oh my God. Menopausal women, Sleeky, they do amazing. Night sweats, hot flashes, mood swings, sleeping better, more energy. Oh my gosh, yes. Now, if you did go to the website, if you request a coach, make sure you put in there, I'm premenopausal, assuming you are, and then we'll line you up with a coach that, is familiar with those things. Obviously, it's going to be a woman. I mean, we can do it as men, but we don't understand. I mean, we understand, we observe what you're going through, but we can't possibly know what you're going through. Look, Sleeky, this is, I've got it right. Listen, I'm going to show all this. You talk about credibility. This is the #1 women's magazine in the world. This is the June 9th issue in 2025. You can go get it online. The daughter and her mom, the daughter's a nurse. She's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, who's going to be 81 in October, lost 104 pounds in a year, and they both have kept it off for 3 years. And look at the magazine, what they're calling it, Over 50 Protein Miracle. They're not putting time-restricted eating on the cover. They're not putting keto on the cover. This is, I understand, my biggest problem is, as I show you the real medical proof, it makes you more skeptical. You think, but if you think we're lying to you or we're making things up, then you're on the wrong podcast. So I couldn't be more serious. Then go follow these influencers that are giving you not one scintilla of proof. They're giving you opinions. Do you all agree with that? Can anybody tell me? Please, someone, help me out here. Celie or Diane or Bernice or Wendy or Shelley or any of you coming on. Can any of you show me a influencer you're following with one shred of medical evidence, whether it's keto, paleo, Mediterranean, carnivore, time-restricted eating, count your macros, carb recycling, I don't care what it is. In 4 years, they're projecting 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese, and 50% of those are going to be pre-diabetic. Versus, look at this. 65-year-old man, 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month. But look at his medical changes. Look at his A1C, everybody. From 8.4 to 6.4 triglycerides, 242 to 124. That's in 30 days. Now you can think it's made up if you want to. You can hold on to your skepticism. But are you really willing to take a chance that this is for... Now look at this guy here, Ken. 34 pounds, 26 inches. Look at the difference in his size in a month. It's almost like the weight loss is like, that's just the throw-in. As a matter of fact, we tell you, don't even do that. If you think this is to lose weight, you're on the wrong planet. It's to detoxify your body. It's to assist your body in removing the chemicals we're all storing inside of us. Do you believe that? If not, go look up microplastics in your brain. 2 months ago, they came out with a big study saying they're finding microplastics, chips in our brain and in our coronary arteries. What else are they finding? Herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon. In the very fat you see on his day one, that's the bloating caused in the body by the chemicals stuffed in your fat cells. That's what you all complain to us about. This is not about fat shaming. My own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I lived with fat shaming. I would never do that. My mother, I loved her very much. Didn't matter how big she was. But 25 years ago, she called me up one day and said, you know, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. This is before I became a researcher. I said, what's that, Mom? She said, I would give anything to spend one day thin. 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mom did about every diet out there. That's why I'm so, you can tell I'm very against diets. But it's not me giving you an opinion about why I'm against diets. It's showing you the medical proof, right? Now let's talk about the shots for just a moment. Now again, I'm not against the shots. If you're a diabetic, you need the medication. If you're morbidly obese and it can help you, great. But let's look at the actual results. You all can look this up. Listen to me carefully. The New England Journal of Medicine, once weekly semaglutide in adults and overweight and obese individuals. This is 68 weeks, that's a year and 4 months. Right from the study. The weight loss after 68 weeks was 32 pounds. And of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. It took them 68 weeks to lose 32 pounds, and he lost 34 pounds in a month. Or Kristen, look, kind of the minimums on this are literally like 5 pounds a week with no exercise. Now, if you want to exercise, of course, exercise is fine. But I'd love for anybody, I lost 60 pounds in 5 months 13 years ago. I was starving, it's all back. Yeah, of course, Diane, of course. Diane, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. Diane, I've kept it off for 23 years. Diane, are you intrigued? Are you curious? Because if you are, Diane, right above her head in blue, the New Health Conversation, it's a free medical website that you can go to. Diane, this is not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It was invented. Did you hear what I said, Diane, about how she did? Because I'll repeat it for any of you, because I know we have a lot of new people on here right now. But Diane, how excited would you be? I'll tell you right now, Diane, let's say you gain all your weight back and you've got 60 pounds to lose. In the first 4 days, Diane, you probably lose 8 or 10 pounds. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding. We have an expression, just give us 4 days. Because in most cases, most people lose as much weight in the first 4 days as in a month of any diet they've ever been on. Well, do the math. Look what she lost. 5 pounds a week. I mean, it's not, and the thing is, Diane, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world, which if you go to the website, you can see the medical studies. They're there. We have nothing to hide. This isn't about trying to sell you an app and then you get recipes. It's just, I mean, it's just, what? What are we doing? What are we doing, everybody? I know I get really animated. Some people get mad that I get all amped up. But somebody has to take, don't they, somebody have to take the lead on this and say enough is enough is enough? When are we going to wake up to the fact that in 4 years, 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese? In 4 years. Johns Hopkins Medical School, not my opinion. So Diane, did you get a chance to hear that would be amazing. I never know what to eat, it's overwhelming. Okay, so Diane, a number of things. Okay, first of all, did you hear the explanation? Because if you didn't, I'm going to repeat it again because I need to repeat it for everybody anyway. So just tell me, Diane, did you hear me explain to you why this has nothing to do with counting calories? As a matter of fact, we don't want you even to count calories. We didn't invent this, but the researchers, right? One of the things that you get, Diane, as part of this is a recommended food list. The actual foods, but instead of giving you calorie amounts, these, not me, the top researchers in the world for weight loss nutrition and physiology, they give you a list: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But Diane, instead of giving you calorie amounts, you'll love this, they give you serving sizes. Because this whole thing is based on what, didn't hear it. We're going to hear it now, okay? So these researchers, Diane, are voted the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They have done 100 studies on human beings over 40 years on every kind of diet you could ever name. You know what they concluded? No diet ever worked long term. That's your problem right there, where you lost the 60 pounds, you gained it all back. 2/3 of people, Diane, are ending up weighing more than when they started. So the researchers said something's terribly wrong. And what's terribly wrong is the whole premise behind diets about calories in, calories out. Diane, for example, I didn't know what a calorie was 25 years ago. If you do know what a if you know what a calorie is, you're ahead of the game. But again, Diane, why would you be going on a diet to count calories when you don't even know what calories are? And I can say that because in a year's time, over 1,000 of these podcasts I've done, I've had 11 people that ever given me the medical definition of a calorie. So if you know, you'd be number 12. So I'm not being disparaging in any way. So the researchers said the key to life was you're alive because of 3 things, Diane: air, water, and not calories, nutrition. And the problem on the diet you went on, what happened to you, Diane, and everybody else, when you go on a diet, it's some form of lowering the amount of food you're consuming. Do you agree with that, Diane? For the most part. Maybe they call it calories, but you got less food. By definition, you have less nutrition. When your brain figures out there's not enough nutrition, what does it do? It goes into what's called catabolic metabolism. This is medically proven. I'm not making anything up. Now the body begins to use your what's called lean muscle mass, also called your fat-free mass. Let me define that for you. If your fat-free mass, take the fat out of your body, and what's left, which includes your brain, your kidney, your liver, your heart, and yes, your muscles. So the very first thing the body does in that survival mode, because you don't have enough nutrition, it immediately begins to turn your muscles into fuel, slowing down your metabolism. That's why you gained all the weight back, Diane. All these diets are doomed to failure. 2/3 of people are gaining more weight than they lost. So the researchers said, we got to reverse that. We're going to do this, Diane. We're going to pick foods for you. We're going to give you less food by quantity, but find foods with high levels of nutrition. Diane, you've never been hungry for a calorie. None of you have ever been hungry for a calorie. You know what you're all hungry for? Nutrition. So when you go on these diets and you lower the amount of food, which is the amount of nutrition, that's why you're so hungry. You're not hungry for calories, you're hungry for nutrition. So the researchers said if we can give you enough nutrition, it's so confusing now, calories, macros, protein, none of them work. None of them work, Diane, none, zero. Zero, zero, zero work, okay? I mean, I've got all the proof over here to back that up, but let's finish on this. So the researchers, you'd get a grocery list, Diane, you'd actually take to the grocery store organic foods, but serving sizes, not calories. What foods would you eat? Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, and you get the actual names of the foods and the quantities. By quantity, what I mean by serving size. Got that, Diane? But only 30% of what you bought last month at the grocery store, you'd buy this month, because you got much smaller proportions, but the foods they picked have high levels of nutrition. The other 70% of what you would buy, Diane, doesn't come from your grocery store. It comes from other researchers. See, the researchers who created this, there are no products here, Diane. There's not some magic elixir or capsule. No. This is food. So let's recap. 30% from your grocery store. The other 70% comes from foods from where? Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, and New Zealand that represent huge amounts of nutrition, Diane and everybody else, but in smaller quantities of food. So now you have the foods you're going to consume. It's all laid out for you, Diane. You don't have to guess about any of it. You not only have the foods, you have the amount in serving size you're going to consume, right? Okay, so 5 days a week, Diane, this will blow your mind. You're going to have 4 meals a day. You're going to start with these exotic foods around the world, nothing from the grocery store, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. You got that? So 5 days a week, everybody, that's called protein pacing. It means that they figured out when you ate, the sequence between meals mattered the most. They tried to do the same amount of nutrition and give them lunch and dinner. It didn't work. They tried breakfast, skipping breakfast. Then they had breakfast and then they had dinner. It didn't work. It was the pacing, and they got a registered trademark, Diane, with the U.S. Patent Office for a new way of eating called protein pacing. So 5 days a week until you lose your weight, you'd have 4 meals a day, okay? 2 days a week, you're going to do something which will spin all of you out of control. Intermittent nutritional. Notice the word nutritional, fasting, but not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods, but this time, Diane, you're going to eat 8 times a day. You're going to eat every hour and a half to 2 hours. Do you know that diabetics on this, Diane, that no one had insulin spikes? People's hunger in a month, they measured it. Their hunger went down 41% in 30 days. But that's not the number one thing. The number one thing about this, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. And what they proved, this is a detox. Yeah, they proved that this is helping the body get rid of herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon and all the chemicals we're storing inside those fat cells. Look at her stomach, Diane, on day 1. Look at her stomach on day 30. That's with no exercise. No one's, and she's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. That's what should matter to you, Diane. It's not a question, can we get the weight off you? As a matter of fact, weight loss is one of the last reasons to do this. Number 1 reason is detox. What's the number 2 reason? They measured for the first time ever. They saw inflammation, Diane, which plagues you and me and every person on the planet. It came down by 25% in 30 days. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides all came crashing down in a month. This is going to change the world, but it's sustainable. The 4th reason to do this before even the weight loss is to sustain it. How simple is maintenance, Diane? This morning I had the world's most perfect meals for breakfast. I had lunch a little while ago. I'm going to have dinner tonight, and then every couple months I do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast, not to lose weight anymore, but to keep detoxing my body. Because toxins aren't going on vacation, whether you know it or not, Diane. Every living, breathing person in the world is storing chemicals inside their visceral fat. That's the fat around your organs. And Diane, don't anybody tell you you burn fat on a diet or through exercise. Total fabrication. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain amount. So all these influences telling you, well, we're going to show you how to burn fat. No, you're not. This is a lie. It's not. I mean, I guess I'm being kind that they're misinformed. Okay, let's just say that. Why would right away it should take away all their credibility? They're telling you something that's just medically, no, that's not happening. Does that make sense, Diane? And coaching is free, Diane. Free. Look, it says right there, Diane, even on the first page. Look. Finally, medical science proves a new safe way to lose 20 pounds in a month, backed by, I've got them right here, and you see them on the website, the peer-reviewed human trial studies, and you'll get free coaching all the way to your goals. And you get to see the medical proof, Diane, at the New Health Conversation, and if you go there, Diane, we won't contact you. We shouldn't have to contact you. Here it is, look, everybody, I want to show you, Diane. You go to Google, you type in the New Health Conversation, and it'll take you to the link here, watch. There's the link, then click on the New Health Conversation. There's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. The only thing there is the medical proof, including number 1, an exclusive podcast with the number 1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, and they have no products to sell. They don't have a company. They're scientists who pursued the secret or the magic bullet for obesity, as they call it, for 40 years, and now they're credited with finding it. Diane, one of the journals that this protocol was published in is called the Obesity Journal. We can imagine by the title, it's the number 1 obesity journal in the entire world. When they published these results from these studies, when the Obesity Journal did, it was the number 1 downloaded medical study in the entire world. In the entire world. So Diane, do you want to go with someone that's giving you an opinion, an influencer? You want to go with these failed diets? You just want to change the name? But at the end of the day, Diane, do you agree with me? It's some form of reducing the amount of food you're consuming. They never bring up the fact that your body can't count calories, doesn't care about calories, and when you reduce the food and ignore nutrition, that's where the problems begin. Diane, that's why you gained back the 60 pounds. And again, all of you can see the free website, The New Health Conversation. But look, everybody, she lost that's 5 pounds a week in a month with no exercise. She lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle, Diane. But look at Julie, everybody, 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at how much her body shrank. You're going to think we photoshopped it. If you did, then you're on the wrong podcast. I'm serious. I mean, it's just so unbelievable. And then this guy, he's 65 years old, 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. That's 10 pounds a week. But look at his blood levels. Look at his A1C, 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124 in 30 days. I know what you're thinking. You're all skeptical. You think this is crazy. We don't believe you, etc. But I don't want you to believe me. The whole point is, the reason you should be intrigued and go to the website, you can see the medical studies. They're right there on the website. And you get a free coach. If you decide, we won't contact you if you go to that website. How much fear? No, I want results and I want to live and enjoy life. Exactly, Diane, exactly. But Diane, do you agree? Diane, and thanks for this dialogue, by the way, or Celia or anybody else that wants to chime in. But can you tell me anybody, Diane, that you've seen on social media that's showing you peer-reviewed human trial studies published in the biggest journals in the world for what they're talking about? Can you tell me, have you seen anybody? I haven't, but I can't look at everything, right? I'm not even trying to disparage them. All I'm saying is you, as the general public, you should have the right to a choice. You should have the right to look at medical proof and then you decide. We're not charging you for an app. We're not charging you for coaching. We're not giving you recipes, for crying out loud. What a bunch of hot air. With no medical proof, none. Diane, you're saying nobody. But for all of you, I'd love for you to support us. Look, the New Health Conversation, we need to change the world, everybody. But start with your world. It's like Diane, they say when you I'm going to check the website now. Great, Diane, listen. But Diane, understand when you go there, we're not going to contact you. But if you want a coach, just scroll down. It says free coach. By the way, Diane, I didn't tell you the other good part to all of you. 30% take whatever you spent last month on food, 30% at the grocery store. The other 70% will pay for, or maybe a little bit more than what you spent for these exotic foods around the world. But listen to this, everybody. Those researchers, the food you'd buy from them, in the first 30 days, say it doesn't work, Diane, they'll give you all your money back. 100% money back guarantee. And you'll see when you sign up for a coach, it says 100% money back guarantee. So I wanted to be clear, 30% you're buying from the grocery store, they're probably not going to give you a refund. But look, nothing's 100%. But Diane, when you did keto or paleo or Mediterranean, did they give you your money back, the food you spent on something that didn't work and you gained all the weight back and took all that time and effort? For what? For what? This is called R2M, race to maintenance. So who else would like to ask me a question? We got more new people on here. We've got 83 likes. Come on, you all can tap on the screen and we can get a lot more than 83 likes. Because I've got about 10 more minutes and then I have to go. But hopefully we come back on around, let's say 6 o'clock Eastern time today to do another podcast. So who would like to ask me a question before I have to close out this? But hopefully, Diane, you're nobody. I'm hoping all of you will go to that website and look at the medical proof. It's all there. There's nothing there that's made up. There's nothing there that's not real. It's all 100% proven medically. You even get to see the peer-reviewed human trial studies. Or not. Or you can follow these people that are just simply giving you opinions, because that's what they're giving you. Look, everybody, finally, medical science proves a new safe way to lose 20 pounds in a month. And it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. I didn't do the research. It's not my research. I don't want you to believe me, but do you believe medical science? Yes or no? Or would you rather believe some influencers who've given you opinions? People are buying this stuff. It's like, really? Really? I mean, it's just ridiculous. The biggest disqualifier was when you're hearing them say, we're going to show you how to burn, you're going to burn fat in a month. No, you're not. It's just right away, just run from that. You're born with a certain amount of fat, you die with a certain amount of fat, period. No, it doesn't change. Because any fat cells, they tend to turn over about 10% of your fat in a year, but the body immediately replaces. If a fat cell's gone, it replaces it. But it's not from a diet or from exercise. It's the natural metabolism inside the human body. We're scientists. We only give you medical proof. We always tell the censors that. We only read from medical proof. Let me show you one other picture that'll stun most of you, I think. Now, this is someone that really had a lot of weight to lose, about 350 pounds. So what I'm going to show you is 50 days. That's 7 weeks and 1 day, to be clear, scientifically, right? 50 days is 7 weeks and 1 day. Now, when you see this, you might think it's Photoshop, but wait till you see this, everybody. He lost, look at that, 75 pounds and 64.75 inches in 30 days. Look at his stomach, how much it went down. I mean, it's still there, but it's way better than it was. Can you imagine that? 70, so that means, right? That means he lost 13, 14, about 13 pounds a week for 5 straight weeks. You think any diet's doing this? What would it be? I'd love for anybody to comment. What do you think about this? We're doing this at the New Health Conversation. We want it to go all over the world. Anybody can go see the New Health Conversation. There's nothing to buy there. We don't have anything to sell you. We're going to show you what to buy from your grocery store and then what to buy from these other researchers, but not from us. We're coaching you for free. It says right there, you will get free coaching all the way to your goals. Free. How much is it? 0. How much is it? 0. How much is the consultation? 0. Why wouldn't you all go to that website and at least check it out? The New Health Conversation. You can see it right there in blue. The New Health Conversation. All you do, everybody, you go to Google, you type in the New Health Conversation. You'll see it right there, New Health Conversation. And it'll take you to the link. There's the link, everybody. You click on that, and there is the website. Nothing to buy on that website. Only thing on there is the medical proof, including number 1, an exclusive podcast with the number 1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the whole world. Maybe you want to believe him. You know what they said in the interview? They'll never recommend any form of traditional diet ever again to any of their patients. They did 100 studies over 40 years. Hundreds, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. They never found a diet that ever worked long term, evidenced by the fact from 1995 to 2025, we doubled the amount of obesity in this country. Doubled. Does anyone think, do we have more diets in 2025 than we did in 1995? Of course, I'm being facetious. Just ask yourself a question, okay? If any of these diets really worked, number 1, why don't they have peer-reviewed human trial studies? Or number 2, if they did work, and it was a diet that worked, when we're looking down in 4 years, 86% of America being overweight or obese, what the hell? Do you think, does anyone really believe that calories in, calories out works? I'd love for someone to put that in the chat. Because I'm going to read to you from a big study by, you can all look this up, her name is Tracy Mann, M-A-N-N, T-R-A-C-I, UCLA and also University of Minnesota, one of the top weight loss researchers in the world for like 30 years. Listen to this new study that they just highlighted. Listen to this. A landmark UCLA meta-analysis by Tracy Mann and colleagues published in American Psychologist reviewed 31 long-term studies on calorie-restricted diets and exposed the harsh truth. What's the harsh truth? The analysis concluded that dieting itself produces future weight gain. This is one of the top experts in the world telling you whatever diet you're on now, it's going to lead you to gaining more weight than what you lost. I hate to tell, Diane, you already proved it to me. Congratulations, you lost 60 pounds. To what end, Diane? Then you ended up gaining it all back. It was like, what? They said in the studies that people were literally better off not even going on a diet. But this is not a diet, this is a detox. This is completely different. I mean, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. Hopefully that should interest some of you. So who else would like to ask me a question? I've got about 5 more minutes. Would anybody else like to ask me a question? And like I said, I'll probably come on again this afternoon around 6. Eastern Standard Time. I'll do another podcast at that point. I've got to leave for a couple hours. So, does anybody else have a question for me? No? Going once, going twice. All right, everybody, I'm going to end this podcast, and I hope you all have enjoyed it. And I invite all of you to go to the website, The New Health Conversation. It's free to go there. We won't contact you. All the medical proof is there. And if you like what you see, scroll down. You get a free coach. The whole time, free. Okay? Bye, everybody.